Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Today is the 8th of April and Binance have just announced the details for the KERNEL Megadrop. So I'm going to run through those in this video today. KERNEL is the fourth Megadrop project on Binance Launchpool, and several days ago we got the kind of preemptive announcement that hey, there's going to be a Megadrop. Binance like to create some excitement about this, although frankly speaking, Megadrops in terms of the returns aren't any more exciting than hodler airdrops or certainly than Launchpool projects, at least in my opinion. Anyway, talking about the important dates and times which are relevant to this, it's slightly more complicated than the average Launchpool project, so let's run through. The actual Megadrop period commences at midnight on the 9th of April UTC, and it runs to 23:59, which is 1 minute to midnight, on the 13th of April 2025. All times are UTC. So you basically got a 5-day Megadrop earning window, and in that time you have to make sure that you've deployed your assets to simple earn basically, or DeFi. You've deployed your BNB assets to one of those in order to participate in this, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. The rewards will actually be allocated to the user's spot wallet on the Binance exchange on the 14th of April at 6 a.m. in the morning UTC, with trading following 6 hours later at noon UTC on the 14th of April. Okay, so on the 14th of April, you're going to get the tokens in your wallet and you'll be able to get ready. You're going to know how many you're going to have, because that's a problem with these Megadrop projects, is you're going to have no idea how many tokens that you're going to get because it's all based on points. As to how you get this Megadrop, what are the mechanisms involved and stuff, let's talk briefly about that. It's composed of two steps. The first step is the baseline step involving BNB, as I alluded to before. Basically, you're going to put your BNB into locked products, locked simple earn products on the Binance exchange or in the app, and they're going to earn some kind of paltry return, usually under 0.5% for that. There are various different term limits, 120 days, 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, I think even 15 days, I'm not sure. I tend to use the 120-day one, and there's a good reason for that. And that reason is simply that for Megadrop projects, they earn more points. So you've got your BNB in simple earn, and the alternative to that is the Lister protocol, where you can also stake your BNB. I'll put on the screen now the rates of return for the different terms and also for the Lister protocol, and you can see clearly that having BNB in the longest possible lock on simple earn is beneficial, because it yields 130 points per BNB, whereas others yield much less than that, right down to the DeFi, which only yields 80. So from simple earn and from basically staking your BNB, you're going to get a baseline number of points as calculated by that formula. In addition to that, there is a Web3 quest, and this one seems to have two parts. I'm not exactly sure if it is two parts or not, but there's definitely one thing that you have to do. It says on the instructions page that the first thing you have to do is transfer at least 0.013 BNB into your Binance Web3 wallet from an external source or from the exchange, presumably. I'm not exactly sure about this because I already have more than that amount of BNB in my Web3 wallet. I'm not sure whether I'm going to have to transfer new BNB in or whether the existing BNB that's there is going to count. We'll see, because when I open up the Megadrop page on the Web3 wallet, I'll be able to see whether or not I have completed one of the stages. So, we'll know that soon enough. My suspicion is that if you've already got the funds in there, you probably don't need to do it again. But even if you do, it's a really, really small amount, certainly less than $10. The second step for the Web3 Quest is the real one, and this is the one that traditionally all of the Megadrops have had, because they're all some kind of restaking protocol, just like this KERNEL DAO is a restaking protocol. You have to take your BNB, in this case it has to be 0.01 BNB at least or more, and you have to follow the instructions and you have to stake that on the KERNEL DAO protocol. Okay, it's fairly straightforward. I've done it obviously with BounceBit and Lista, and I think there was one other one as well. Sometimes it can be a bit glitchy, you know, you go through the steps and connect the wallet and stuff, and then you try to hit verify, because it's really important to verify that the quest has actually been completed, and then it doesn't work the first time, and then you go back a minute later and hit verify and suddenly it works. It's been like that for me on a couple of occasions, so don't be surprised if you find that. Now, once you've completed the Web3 Quest, that will give you a couple of other things. First of all, you will get 1100 bonus points for completing the quest, and you will also be eligible for the Web Quest multiplier, which is 1.5 times the total number of points that you've earned. So the formula for working out how many points you actually get is this. You take the baseline amount that you earn from having your BNB in Simple Earn or in the Lista protocol. That will be a big number, and then you multiply that by 1.5 if you've completed the Web3 Quest anyway, and then finally you add on the 1100 points at the end, and that will give you your points total. And the higher the points total, the more KERNEL DAO tokens you're going to actually receive at 6 o'clock on the morning of the 14th of April. However, what we do not know is the formula exactly for conversion of points to tokens. We don't know that, and there's no way of knowing that. Another thing we don't know is the price of the KERNEL DAO token, because it's not listed on any exchange or even on pre-market, so we can't find out that information. And even if we knew it, it would be useless to us because we don't know how many tokens we're going to have. Perhaps once you see the tokens allocated on the 14th of April, there might be some kind of pre-market action going on then, and of course you'll know how many tokens you have, so you might be able to work it out, you know, how much you're going to earn from this airdrop, or at least approximately at that time. But at the moment, no, it's not possible. You're simply garnering points. I will be jumping into this airdrop as close to the initiation as possible tomorrow morning. It depends what time I get up. I haven't found that it matters, you know, whether or not you're doing it at midnight. I don't think that it makes a really big difference. If I miss a few hours, I don't really care. I don't think it's going to be immensely valuable. But in terms of getting your BNB into Simple Earn, everybody should try to do that before midnight tonight, because otherwise you will miss out. There will be hourly snapshots taken. I don't think that the multiplier is done on an hourly basis. I think that's more of an overall basis. So you might be all right there. At least I hope so. Alright, well, I hope people found this information helpful and that this is a lucrative airdrop. I will see you soon in the next video.